Most people have experienced trauma at some point in their life. Whether it's from a single catastrophic event or ongoing emotional, physical, or sexual abuse, left unresolved, trauma can have a lasting impact on a person's wellness and quality of life.
Trauma does have an impact on health, and it can manifest in different ways because it affects the nervous system. So it can affect digestive problems, it can have an impact on mental health issues, anxiety, depression, insomnia. We also see addiction linked with trauma because people are often trying to manage their symptoms, and that's really part of a bigger picture.
My unresolved trauma was causing me to lash out at the ones that I love the most.
How trauma manifested in my life is that I set up a pattern of rules and regulations to keep myself safe. I was believing my lies.
Current research shows that while trauma survivors are more likely to suffer from alcoholism, addiction, depression, and anxiety, addressing the underlying source can improve recovery outcomes.
Oftentimes addictions are a coping mechanism for trauma. Sometimes in the throes of addictions, that chaos creates its own trauma. So it's important to address that trauma, because if you don't, there's a higher chance of relapse, and we want to increase the likelihood of healthy recovery.
Unresolved trauma was really a big deal. I had 14 years sober, and because I didn't deal with the trauma and the feelings around that, I ended up drinking again.
In treating trauma addiction, talk therapy is effective, but it's not enough. What's really important is that you do work that addresses the mind, body, and spirit. And you use those therapeutic integrative modalities that really work with the whole person. Because the trauma is stored in the body, so it's not going to remove itself, it's not going to be removed if you just talk about it.
It's really interesting. What's changed for me by addressing the trauma is that it has given me an opportunity to address the really intense feelings that you get with trauma, or that I got with trauma, so I didn't have to drink anymore to cover those feelings.
By addressing my trauma, I have everything that I need in my life back. My hope, my love, my life.
By addressing the root of the issue, this integrative approach helps prevent relapse and facilitate lasting recovery.
What's really important in a comprehensive and individualized treatment plan is that first and foremost, the environment is safe emotionally and physically. Secondly, you want to make sure that everybody doesn't go into the same track or the same treatment plan. And how you get that individualized treatment is exposing them to different treatment modalities such as EMDR, equine therapy, adventure therapy, massage, acupuncture, whatever those integrative therapies are that are going to best move that trauma through their body. And then also that neuroscience is really important. So doing brain mapping and neurotherapy and addressing that neuroplasticity, which is changing all that negative thinking that we have going on in our brain and changing it to positive thinking.
There's really two modalities that helped me the most, I think, and that was EMDR, which helped me refile the trauma without emotion, and yoga, which got me back in my body by breathing.
The modalities that worked best for me were EMDR, especially the equine EMDR, and neurofeedback.
Treatment for trauma and addiction is complex. A comprehensive approach requires individual and group therapy, combined with a wide variety of integrative services that can be specifically targeted for each individual. Sabino Recovery is a safe, supportive place to recover from trauma, alcoholism, addiction, PTSD, anxiety, depression, and other mental health issues.
It all starts with our staff. The number one thing that I hear from residents is I've never felt so safe and so loved. And that goes right into our nurture-nudge approach. Right when they get here, we nurture them so that they feel safe and trust us so that we can nudge them through the tough stuff. So nobody comes here because they were on a winning streak. They come here because they're broken and full of hopelessness. And making the decision to finally get help and come to treatment really is one of the bravest things that they'll ever do. Also, we're privately owned and operated, which means we're not some big corporation. Nobody's telling me what to do, and then I don't tell our clinicians or doctors what to do when it comes to how we treat our residents. So when it comes to resident care, we really do make decisions based on what's best for the resident and not the bottom line.
Here at Sabino Recovery, we're a small facility, and what that allows us is to really have an individualized program, so we can expose the residents to so many different therapies and find exactly what fits and put that in their treatment plan. Along with that, our staff is highly skilled. Every staff member that we have is trained specifically in trauma, so they can give the support that they need to the residents as they do their work. And our staff is extraordinarily compassionate. And then lastly, I think the desert is healing in and of itself. We have over 110 acres and we use it well by using a lot of outdoor therapy, by using equine therapy. Alongside a therapist, we see amazing transformations each and every day.
Sabino's individual approach here is really the thing that made a difference in my life.
The thing that was really important about coming to Sabino Recovery was being able to deal with trauma using many modalities and to deal with the addiction.
Sabino Recovery provides highly individualized programs utilizing the latest treatments based on neuroscience.
One of the things I just love about Sabino is the way the staff interacts with their residents here. We're not treated as the patient. We're all in it together.
Everyone here, when you walk through that door, becomes a member of this family and this community.
It's never too early and it's never too late to seek help. It doesn't have to stay this way. Not only can it get better, you can have a life that you never even possibly imagined.
To find out more about residential or outpatient treatment for trauma and addiction, go to sabinorecovery.com.